Okay, EVS lesson number 6. Every drop counts. Okay, every drop counts means each and every drop has a meaning and it adds value. Okay, long ago, this is a picture of Gutsy Sir. Sir means a lake. King Gutsy of Jaisalmer got it made 650 years ago with the help of the people. All around the lake there are guts with steps leading to the water. Decorated veranda, large halls, rooms, and much more. People came here to celebrate festivals and for programs of music and dance. Children came to study in the school on the there. The talab belonged to everyone, and everyone took care of it, took care to clean it, keep it clean. Rainwater collected in this lake spread over many miles. It was made in such a way that when the lake was full, the extra water flowed into another lake at the lower level. When that too filled up, the extra water flowed into the next lake. This way, all 9 lakes filled up. This rainwater could be used throughout the year. Today, Gutsisar is no more in use. Many new buildings and colonies have come up in between those 9 lakes. Now, the water does not get collected in these lakes. Rainwater just flows away and is wasted. Okay, so this is a story of a king who made a very good what we call a lake. Okay, he made almost 9 lakes with the buildings, like lot of places to sit around, and they can have programs. Even children can study. They used to have a lot of festivals and program like music, dance. So every area there is a steps that connected to reach the water. Okay, and when this water is filled up by rainwater, the remaining water or the extra water will flow to the next level, and there also they build a lake, and that way they built almost 9 different lakes. Okay, when all the 9 lakes filled up with water, then the extra water will go out. So that is how they made it, and in this way they can have water throughout the year. There will not be any problem for water. Okay, and this thing happened around 650 years ago. Almost it was very long back. Okay, who made it? The king Gatsi of Jaisalmer. Okay, so he is the one who made this plan with the help of people, and he made in such a way that people will not feel any struggle of lack of water. Okay, and this talab, we know talab what is. Okay, this lake is for everyone, and everyone took care of to clean this water. Okay, and nowadays today Gutsisar is no more in use. You know why? Because many buildings and colonies have came up in between these 9 lakes, and the waters go in vain. There is no collection of water. Okay, now there is no water, and the rainwater just flows away and is wasted. Okay, and through the eyes of Al Biruni, more than 1,000 years ago, a traveler came to India. His name was Al Biruni. The place that he came from is now called Uzbek, Uzbekistan. Okay, Uzbekistan. Al-Burni carefully observed and noted down the details of all that he saw. He wrote specially about those things that he found very different from his own country. Here is a part of what he wrote about the ponds of that time. So the people here are very skilled at making ponds. Many countrymen would be surprised to see them. They pile up huge rocks and join them with iron rods to build chabutras, raised platforms. All around the lake between these, there are rows of long staircases going up and down. These steps for going up and coming down are separate, so there is less crowding. Today, when we study history, we can learn a lot about those days from the writing of Al-Biruni. This stamp came out in 1973, 1000 years after his birth. Okay, and see, here is a writing about the people who made ponds. Okay, and here is a man. He is originally he is from Uzbekistan. Okay, his name is Al Biruni. Okay, he traveled from his country and he noticed something new in India. So he wrote something like this in his own writing. So what he wrote, the people here are very skilled at making ponds. See, people are very skilled workers. They know how to make ponds. Okay, ponds means the water storages, like small level of water storages. And he wrote like this, that the people are making it with the what we say, they pile up huge rocks and join them with iron rods. Okay, and it is something like, today we make platforms and all, what we the concretes we make. So in those days also people used to make with iron rods and huge rocks. They made it very in a strong way that the lake is built very safe and the water is not leaked out. Okay, that is how they made. And even today we can learn lot of history about the old thing. And in 1973 a stamp came out in his name after the birth of after 100 years after his birth. Okay, and he gave some information about the fonts that people made in those days in India. Okay, and here we have something to observe. Look at the area around your school. Are there any fields, farms, pakka roads, drains, etc.? Is the area sloping, rocky, or flat? Think what will happen here when it rains. Where will the rainwater go? Into the drains, pipes, or pits? Is some water also getting soaked into the soil? Okay, so we should observe. So where are the water, rainwater going out? So so we have to observe, and we should make a plan in a way that it can be get collected. Okay, see, rainwater is going simply to the river and the river flows out, and it is of no use. Okay, so we have to think about it, and we have to observe it, and what are we going to do to save water in future. Okay, and okay, move on to the next one. Drop by drop. Beside Jaisalmer, many places in Rajasthan get very little rainfall. Here it rains for only a few days in the entire year, sometimes not even that much. The rivers here do not have water all round the year, and yet most of the villages in these areas did not have a shortage of water. People knew that every drop of water was precious. Lakes and jodhas were made to collect water. How to say that? Johas, yeah, jodes, whatever, johats. Okay. Hmm. Water was everyone's need. One and all came together in this work. Be it a businessman or a laborer, some water from the lakes soaked into the ground and reached the well, and above, above these step well, the soil of the area also became wet and fertile. Every house had a system to collect the rainwater. Look at the picture on the right, your right. How do you think the rainwater that falls on the roof will reach the underground tank? Draw the paths. Okay, see here, there is one more information we get from this lesson, that in Rajasthan, many years, okay, they don't get in throughout the year, they get very little amount of rain, okay, and many of the areas they get very few days of rain in the entire year. Throughout the year they get only few days of rain, okay. You just imagine, after 6 months, if we have a little rain, what will happen? All the water will be absorbed by the mud itself. It cannot be of no use. We cannot use it, okay. And there is no the river here do not have um, water all around the year, and yet most of the village people of that area do not have water shortage. See, and see, in Rajasthan, many areas they don't have enough water or enough lakes or ponds, but they don't have any water scarcity or shortage of water, okay. People know how to save the water because they know water is very precious. So they collect water in such a way that they will not have any problem throughout the year. Just you see this image, see where is their house. Okay, this is a house, and they have made tank underground, and they made a close over there by concrete. So the rainwater will come down, and it will be stored up here, and after that they can take it by these buckets to you for their day-to-day usage. So is it not good idea? So how people very wisely they save their water. See how are we using rainwater? We don't have any problem because we are not at all thinking about it. We have enough water, we have enough rain, and just to think about the days when we don't have rain and no water. Just to think about one day, if you don't have water, what will happen? Okay, if the same condition goes on for a month, what will you do? So it is very difficult, to survive without water. So that is why the people of this area they are very much concerned about saving the water. Okay, and okay, have you ever seen a step well? See this picture. So how deep it is. Okay, it is almost more than 60 foot or 100 foot down. Okay, so every step should be 1 foot high. So almost how many is there? So it must be more than 100 foot down, and they go down here and take water and come to the top. Okay, look at the picture. Can you imagine by looking at the picture that the steps go down several stories deep? Instead of drawing the water up from the well, the people could go down the step and reach the water. That is why they are called step wells. So how they get this water? So during rain season, the soil of the area become wet, and they go down to the step well. So they will be stored up here in the step well. So when there is the scarcity of water, so they can draw the water from here, or they can go down and get it. Okay. So you just have you ever thought about the how are we getting the underground water? Even we have bore wells, hand pumps. Have you seen it? Yeah. So how are we getting this underground water? Is there water underneath? See, we have mud over there, or everywhere we can see mud. Okay, ground, and underneath there is a storage of water. See how it is stored up down there. So because of rainwater, it goes down, and the soil is absorbing the water, and it goes down and stored up down. So that is how we get the underground water. Okay, and next, long ago, people used to make long journey with their caravans of animals and goods. People felt it was a good thing to give water to thirsty travelers. Thus, they built many beautiful step wells. Have you ever faced a shortage of water in your area? If yes, then what was the reason for it? Talk to your grandmother or any elderly people, find out when they were of your age. From where did they get water for the house? Has there been a change now? What kind of water arrangements were made for travelers? For example, PO or Mashak, leather bag, or any other. Now, what do people do about water when they travel? Okay, so these are the very long years back. See, people used to go with caravans. Caravans means there is a house made of made as a vehicle. Vehicle house. Okay, and the animals will pull the thing, and they will go on the way, and they will find people, travelers, and give them water. Okay, and that in that way also they have found, they have made lot of step wells to provide water for the travelers. Okay, and here we have an experiment. Maybe you can talk to your elderly people, grandparents, or elderly people in your house. What they experienced about the water scarcity, or they how do they take water from the well or anywhere. So how they were using the water in their house, how they got the water inside the house. They had any direct water taps just like we have today, or they used to collect water from somewhere else. Just you talk to them, discuss with them, and you can know. And I also asked you, have you ever experienced any water scarcity? What is the reason for that? During summer, many of us used to face it, because sometimes if we don't have power, or if there is power cut throughout the day, we will not have enough water, right? And so how do you feel, how these kind of things affect you? Okay, and when you go for a travel, or when you come to school, how do you bring water? So nowadays we use a lot of water bottles and many things. So in olden days they used to use leather bag. Okay, directly they will pour water in it and they will use it. So because in those days there were no water bottles at all, so they used it. Okay, customs related to water. Even today people get water from very old lakes. Okay, Dwaras, okay, step wells, and Naulas. Okay, many customs and festivals are related to water. At some places, whenever lakes get filled up with rainwater, the people gather around the lake to celebrate. See the bride of Uttarakhand in this picture. After getting married, she has come to the new village. She bows to the spring or the pond. In cities, one can see an interesting form of this custom. The new bride worships the top in her home. In the tape in her home. Can we even imagine life without water? See, here we have a lot of custom in India. Many people they worship water bodies, and rivers and these kind of streams and all they used to worship. Here in Uttarakhand, see a new girl, she married to a man in a new village, and she came to the village, and there she is offering worship here. Okay, so these are the customs that we have in India. Okay, and do you have some special pours of water at your place? Look what is being filled in this beautiful copper pot. The shining yellow pot of brass is seen in the other picture. See, many stone carvings are also made near the place of drinking water. Have you ever seen any beautiful buildings near the place of water? So even in Himachal, we find lot of these kind of pictures, right? In every stream or this freshwater bodies, we can find these kind of buildings. And do you have these kind of storages, water storage pots in your house? So in olden days, people used to use bronze. Even nowadays, people used to use silver pots. Okay, copper pots. These are they used to collect water with these pots. Okay, is there a lake, well, or step well near your house or school? Okay, so you just think about, do we have any step well or any kind of pond or small lake? Okay, you can find out how it is, how long, how old it is, and who got it built, and what kind of building or around it. Is the water clean or cleaned regularly? Who all use the water? Is there any festival celebrated at this place? Is there any water today, or is it dry? Even in the villages, when you go to villages, you find a lot of these kind of small water storages. I have seen many I have seen this kind of water storage system in the villages, many of the areas. Okay. Mm. In 1986, there was no rain in Jodhpur and the surrounding areas. People remembered the old and forgotten step well. They cleaned the step well, and more than 200 trucks of garbage was taken out of it. People of the area collected money. The thirsty town got water from the step well. After a few years, it rained well, and again the step well was forgotten. See, in 1986 in Jodhpur, people also see in those days they regularly used the step well, but after they get enough water, they just forget about it. So totally, it will be closed down by a lot of garbages, wastages. See, just to think about, 200 trucks of garbages was taken out of these particular step well, and after they cleaned up and they used the water. Then after few years, they got enough rain and they forgot it, and again it is covered up. So that is how we always do. We are always thinking about the temporary thing, not thinking for the long term of usage. We should have a vision of future. Then only we will preserve everything. So we have to preserve these kind of things, which is very necessary. Okay, there are two old wells in the area where Punita lives. Her grandmother says that about 15-20 years ago there was water in these wells. The wells could have dried up because water is being pumped up from under the ground with the help of electric motors. The lakes in which rainwater used to collect are no longer there. The soil around trees and parks is now covered with cement. Is there some other reasons for this? Explain. See, so here is a discussion. A girl and her, grandmother is telling about a story like 15 to 20 years ago. We had a water well, okay, and now it is totally dried up. So what could be the reason? So there are some reasons. If we pump up the water, then it will be finished off, and If the rainwater is not properly stored up, then that also will cost. And the soil around the lake, if you have lot of trees and covered with cement platform, then we will not get enough underwater, because cement cannot absorb the water. Okay. And so these are some reasons. So we can take a step to store water, for our regular use. The story today. Let us see the different ways in which people manage water today. See page 57 and discuss. So next page. Do you get water in your house by any of these ways? Put a tick on that. Okay, if you get water by some other way, written on your notebook. Okay, you can write it. So here is an experiment. Okay, you can see and check how are we getting water. Okay, here how do we get water? We have a water tanker. Okay, in the Delhi and all, in big cities, people used to buy water from water tanker. Okay, the people will be in queue, so they will get the water. Okay, here the second step, there is a well. Okay, people used to go and draw water from this well and get water. And here there is a water. um, we get water at home for half an hour. Okay, we fill this in the tank to use all day. Sometimes it is dirty, so we get water and pump it up through motor, electric motor, and get the water. Okay, and here we get water from our taps all the day long. We will have a storage over there, and we get the water. Okay, here we have a hand pump system, motor system, and here also we have pump directly. It is through the governments we get. And there some people get water from long area. They used to carry water from some canal or some kind of water storages. They used to bring with the pots. So how are we getting water? We are directly getting in our tap, so we don't know what is the process of all these things. Okay, so we have to think about it. How are we getting the water to our house? So when we go to such areas, then only we will understand how water is precious, because we are getting it very easily, so we don't know the value of water, so simply we are wasting it. Okay, so here everyone has a right to live, yet is everybody getting enough water to live, or even water to drink? Why is it that some people have to buy drinking water? Should it be like this? Water on this earth is for one and all. Some people draw out water from the ground by deep bore wells. How far is it correct? Have you ever seen this? Why do some people put a pump directly in the Jalboard pipeline? What problem would other people face due to this? Do you have any such experience? Look at the bill and tell from which office has this bill come. Do you get a water bill at home? Find out from where it is sent. Why do you think Delhi Sarkar, government of Delhi, is written under Delhi Jal Board? Is whose name is the bill? In whose name? How much money do they have to pay for each month? Do you have to pay for water? How much is the rate of the water different in different colonies? Ask your elders. See how much they are paying. 360 rupees. Okay. Even today we pay water bill, right? You can ask your parents. So everyone has the right to live. Okay, everybody is to get enough water. So we have to think about these things. Are we getting enough water? Are we getting it freely, or we are paying for it? Okay, some people they have bore wells directly, they get the water, and some people see even the when we get the corporate water or the government provision, some people use motor to take full water. So is it right, or how the others will get the water? So there are a lot of issues going on, and say here is a well, we are paying for the water bill, and we are doing these things, we are buying it. Okay, and it can be done. There are some group that work hard to bring water to the people of different areas. They ask the elders about the water arrangement in their times. They rebuild the old lakes and johars, and also built new ones. Let us see how the group called Tarun Bharat Sangh helped Darki Mai. This is Darkimai. She lives in a village in the Alwar district of Rajasthan. The women of the village used to spend the entire day looking after their homes and animals. Sometimes it took them all night to pull water from the well for the animals. In the summer, when the wells dried up, they had to leave the village. Darkimai heard about this group and asked for help. Together, the people from the group and the village decided to make a lake. The problem of food and water for animals is now less. People get more milk, they have started earning more. See, so they made a decision and they made a lake all together. They spent together and they worked together and they made a lake through which they get enough water, food, and everything. Have you ever read this kind of news in any newspaper? How did people solve their problem of water? Did they repair or reuse any old lake or step well? Okay, so what we have learned? Make a poster. Do you remember the slogan "Water on Earth is for one and all"? Think of some other such slogans. Draw pictures and make a nice poster. Bring a water bill. Look at here and tell this bill is from dash and dash. Okay, so here this is the end of the lesson, but altogether what we learn from here is we have to preserve the water in any way possible. So in the many of the villages, see, they have ponds, lake and water tanks and everything. Okay, and they preserve water for the use of throughout their year. Okay, and they used to collect the water and later on they will use it. Okay, and here in Himachal we don't have any problem of water. Okay, we have enough water, natural sources of water is there, so we don't feel that much of water scarcity. But think about the area like Rajasthan. So there is no rain, enough water, there is no enough rain and they don't have enough water. They go miles and miles to get a single pot of water. Okay, that is also a drop water. They collect it for a long time and they get it back. Okay, and what can we do? What are the the plans that make we can make to provide water for that kind of area? See, even if you ask the old people, they will have a lot of ideas, because in those days they made many lake and ponds to collect the water. See, rain is a natural source of water. Okay, every year we get enough water, so we have to store it up. And how we get how can we get the rain? We have to grow a lot of trees. Okay, last year we have seen a short film on the jungle man. So, or you can see also, so in many of the areas we have to plant lot of trees. If we have enough trees, we will have enough rain. If we have enough rain, then we will not have any problem of water scarcity. Okay, so we have to use our water. See, today we have enough water, so don't misuse the water. Maximum level, try to use the minimum water and make use of it, and don't try to waste the water. Okay, and if you go to any villages, find any where people are struggling with water, you can look for the solutions, like we can make a pond, small pond or water tank, you know so that can help people to store the water or the rainwater, and later on they can use it for cultivation, or they can use it for their cattle or animals. Okay, so these are the ways. So we have to think about it. We have to think little wisely and creatively to save water, and we have to use it for our future. So that is all about the lesson. Every drop counts. Every drop counts. Okay, so if you have any doubt, you can place it on the comment box, or you can call me. Okay, fine.